All right, so welcome to the Tribe Table.
Thank you.
You don't know what you're getting into.
I have no idea. Everything's been unscripted this entire trip.
Isn't that the best though? You
Is.
just kind of aim in a certain general direction and everything will
You just got to trust the universe.
Trust the universe, yes. So this is the Tribe Table. Basically, our format is a comfortable place where people can sit and have good conversations.
Great.
Real conversations. Mm-hmm. And we're at the Bentonville Film Festival, and it's not that people don't have real conversations, but it's very fast and
furious.
This is
like the realist.
This is a real.
This is the realist conversation.
Yes. This is where we can talk about anything. And
we won't talk about everything.
We won't talk about everything. Well, we also have editing, so that's helpful too. All right, so Han Soto.
Yes.
You're at the Bentonville Film Festival.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
So my friend Candace Barley, do you know?
I love Candace Barley.
I adore Candace. She's actually one of my producing partners, and we met on the set of Left Behind. Nicolas Cage. We shot 2 weeks on it, and she recently we're doing a project that she had to go to the Coda pipeline during that whole controversy. She was there in the front line.
Oh my goodness.
And
she's incredible in a lot of ways.
I mean, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Anyway, I spoke yesterday on 2 panels back to back, which might space it out next time.
Yeah, that's a little bit exhausting to have conversation after conversation. How do I know that?
Well, I didn't take into consideration I thought 30 minutes. I thought, okay, it's done at 10. I could prep for 30 minutes for the inclusion. No, I was talking to people for 25 minutes. So I had 5 minutes, and finally I just threw my notes and just trusted just in the hands of Ben, which is a great place to be. So I was very safe, and I enjoyed myself. That's my first panel I've ever done in my life.
So what were the panel conversations?
The panel was STEAM. The first one was STEAM. The second one was inclusion is good for business.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I just talked. I threw away my notes. Is what I did.
Good.
Just like
always.
I like going into
always. You notice I've got
into
nothing.
everything.
I've got nothing. Yeah.
Like not knowing and just kind of letting it organically just unfold, and the conversation just kind of the panel just wrote itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was great, and everyone's there for the same purpose. Everyone on stage is there for the same purpose, and in the audience they're all there for a collective purpose. And this lady was crying when she talked to me, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, because what do? Do you hug her?
Yeah.
And her kid was there, and she just really related to everything that we were saying, and she said every word you guys said I relate to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was this in the STEAM panel?
This was on the STEAM panel.
Yeah. So STEAM, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, arts and
mathematics. Yeah.
And especially for women, that is an industry where we struggle a lot because we're a minority in the industry.
Yeah.
And so, what were some of the things? What do you think? What it was that she related to that you all talked about?
Well, so I just threw away my script, and I just said, I'm just going to dig into my stories. And one of my stories was I was president of the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, and chess club at the same time. I got bullied.
You were real popular.
Girls were jumping all over me at this all-boys school, But no, it was, you get bullied. You get bullied for being, not on the basketball team, not a jock. I don't know who really sets that status quo, but it's probably the same people who set the quo for the patriarchal society that we,
Or who peak in high school.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's I just shared those stories, and how even in middle school, before I even got into those clubs, I was a pre-nerd.
Yeah.
I was working my way to being the master nerd. And I got bullied every day.
Yeah.
Every day, a kid shouldn't have to worry about how he's walking home from school.
Yeah.
So I voluntarily put myself into detention.
Wow.
Because I knew they wouldn't wait for me for
that long.
And they didn't.
That's
and then they decided to wait that long, so I dug a hole on the side of the fence and crawled under and went to my friend's house. It's sad.
What do you think the layers of those conditions were, in addition to the clubs that you were part of, and where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Need I say more?
Yeah, so you've got you've got some southern culture that's happening as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these experiences when you grew up, obviously, fed into your passions.
Mm-hmm.
You're an actor.
Yes.
And obviously you do your homework and your research,
Mm-hmm.
and you write a bunch of notes and then throw them away.
Right.
But that's okay.
That's what we do with scripts too.
Do it with
And then the
scripts
investors
too.
give us money. Oh, he throws his scripts away.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome. So where did that take you? I mean, was it worth it to have those passions, to pursue those passions, and to work through some of that?
At the time, I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I almost killed myself when I was a kid. I had, thank God the gun didn't work. That's how serious it got. So it was. I didn't see it, and now at this point, stage of my life, I was able to dig into those, and I'm grateful it happened.
Yeah.
They always say, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Yeah, and it's so true.
Yeah.
And it's so true, and I feel like if you're out there and if you feel like you want to give up, don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's so much brighter at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I just dug from experiences, and I was on the panel with people who were doing killer things, awesome stuff, introducing themselves. The White House. I did this. I had a coffee this morning. And, Dr. Toki's like,
I actually took a shower for the first time.
pulled my hair today.
Exactly.
And she's like, I cured cancer. I had some time, so I just developed the cure for cancer.
Just did that real quick.
Yeah, so I was up there with some powerful people, powerful minds, and just, and she actually experienced the same thing, Dr. Toki Ford. Yeah. And she said, I have a very, it strikes a nerve when I hear the word nerd. Yeah. So I embraced it differently. I was like, man, nerds are cool. I'm going to make nerds cool.
It's called appropriating the term.
Yes. And she didn't want to hear that word.
And I think one of the things that you're bringing up, which is really important, is what we call, or has been termed as, the man box. That box that we are, men are supposed to live in. Women have stereotypes that we're pushing against and working against. But some bullying culture comes from a lot of these stereotypes that and bias, and but a lot of the stereotypes that we think that somebody should be. And so men, like you're saying, the basketball player, you're supposed to be strong, suck it up, don't cry, all of these things. And so when you're not that, and you're young, and all of that starts to come out, and it becomes a huge, we work a lot in the realm of mean girl culture. It all comes from a lot of the same places. And it all comes from, so much of it comes from how these young people actually feel about themselves, right? And I have 2 boys, and my youngest are boys, my oldest is a daughter, and all of them at some point have come, and my middle and my youngest are total geeks. I mean, they love to geek out on magic and Dungeons and Dragons and technology and art, and and they that's, and part of that is they have to find their tribe. They just have to find their people, and who it is that does embrace them, that does support them. Because
God, I said this exact thing on the panel. This is exactly what I said, because I have a 5-year-old daughter, and one of the things she always says is, Dad, can girls do that? It's like, you're damn right, girls can do it. And so I got Batman capes, and she's got this whole wall of capes. And Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan is not the Hulk.
No.
The Hulk mask,
The Hulk,
and it's the funniest thing.
Those fists, the Hulk fists.
Oh my God, I will show you a video. And she's punching, and she's and it's that little cadence, it's just so and raising a kid is hard, especially with and corporations. We have to hold them accountable for the ads they put out that
absolutely
that not only don't empower women, but put them almost like a subterranean
Yes.
level. You know, it's you know, this
Well, exploit them.
Yeah,
Exploit
you guys are,
them,
you know,
and the
exactly.
yes,
And
yes.
you know, start putting women in this light. And I thought things were changing.
Yeah.
And then my daughter asked me that, and I'm thinking, I have to reassess it and go, okay, what is she really watching? What is she seeing that is causing her to ask these questions?
To even question it.
And it's not, as a parent, it's not, oh, you just tell them one thing and that's it. It's a constant reminder. You have to keep on. It's like your mantra, right? You gotta keep telling them, hey, you can do it. You can do it. You're amazing. This.
And it's extra hard to be a parent now because of technology. Yeah.
I'm not in that space. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't want to give her a phone.
Yeah, I know. And you know, a lot of times it's a convenience for us because, you know, when we were young, it was like, okay, go out and be at this point in time at 4 o'clock. And it was up to us to know when 4 o'clock was and to be where we were supposed to be. Yeah. But now we want to, you know, tether our kids, and we don't really want the inconvenience of having to think ahead as much.
See,
and any number of things.
You had a curfew. You had a time. See, even back then, as a boy, we just took our bikes out. Yeah. And when the sun was coming down, I don't think a girl could have done that.
Oh, I grew up in Colorado, so it was a canyon. So for me, it was, you know, I grew up with my grandmothers in Norwood on the other side of the Telluride. Oh, she literally, we'd go and she'd say, we'd get a loaf of bread and a dozen eggs and the horse, and we'd be like, we'll see you in the morning. Oh. I know. I know. It was beautiful. I mean, it was different. It was different than, you know, the city life, but it was just as beautiful.
That explains your energy too. You
was
have
it?
great energy. Yeah, I told you that on the car ride.
Yeah.
And I know now. I know it's
Colorado.
I'm flying home tomorrow, and as soon as I land, we're going to Breckenridge. So I still have my place in New Orleans, and I go film there. But Colorado is where we like meditate and where we decompress, where we really like connect with. I almost sound like a tree hugger, but you really connect with the earth.
Well, and I think that's ultimately, and a lot of what you're touching on, and we within Tribal Women call it following your light.
Yeah.
That's a really, really hard thing for people to do in a very loud world, and so meditation is a wonderful thing. Mindfulness is the
Mindfulness
more
is
like common term, or more acceptable. But mindfulness and meditation and following your light, because and that is in building our tribes. It's also what you're talking about when you know, we have everything telling us what to do, where to go, who to live, who our friends should be, what is popular, who is popular. Yep. But we need to shed all of that and just follow who is good for us.
Yep. I just checked off my first thing, fear, really. So I have a list of 5 this year. One of them was stand-up comedy. And you know, sweating like a dog. But it was fun, right?
Right.
And then,
it was terrible and fun all at the same time.
Here was another one, being on the panel, another check. And then going to a festival was another check. It wasn't this
film
one.
festival or like Bluegrass Festival in Telluride.
Film festival.
Okay.
South by Southwest, I'm all about immersing myself into people's cultures. That's just like, that's what we do.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just trying it on, right?
Yeah.
And trying it on, seeing what fits. And I told my daughter, I said, the thing that nobody tells you is, you know, everybody says, you know what you want and go get it. Yeah. And so what people don't tell you, which is reality, is life is just trying a bunch of stuff on and seeing what doesn't fit. It's a series of experiments and failures and kind of just keep going.
And if you show up to somebody's house on a snowy day and you're vulnerable, naked, so to speak, they're going to give you a blanket. Yeah. People will support you.
Yes. Well, and vulnerability being, you know, in the past looked at as a weakness. Yeah. I mean, I love the work of Brene Brown. If we're going to talk about TED Talks, then let's talk about that one. And the body of work that she has about vulnerability and about compassion and about empathy and where all of that comes from and how it comes from. I feel like as a world, as a society, we're on that trajectory.
And it's constant. You're constantly working on yourself.
It's a practice, right?
Yeah. You see my bookshelf I built?
Yeah.
It's a self-help section of Barnes & Noble, right? Like
Sometimes I need to unplug. Sometimes I've got to reboot. Sometimes I just want to sleep. But I always want to connect with you. Get into Brew Moods, aromatherapy lotions powered by a mindfulness app.